Okay, Loki, I know the video might not get any views. I know it might not care to anyone else, but I'm gonna drop some crazy value. So right now I'm drinking the, I don't know if you can see it. I think you can see it now. It's the vegetable juice, which is just literally carrot and celery juice, which is so overpowered for detoxing and to alkalinize the body. If you know what that means. If you don't know what it means, it basically just means because I eat a diet of raw foods or raw meat, especially just red meat. I will add like white meat and hopefully oysters soon, but they're like, I don't know where to get them, and I haven't researched much about it, which I should. But anyway, it's just whenever you detox, your body naturally becomes a little bit acidic. Now imagine this. Imagine like you're living a million years ago. Okay, maybe not a million. Okay, it doesn't have to be scientific. Just imagine you're living a million years ago. It's probably not accurate, but whatever. 10,000 years ago, and you're in a tribe, and you're just chilling. You're probably your cortisol is low. You've been eating the best food. No toxins basically exist in the environment. No pollutants. No microplastics because that thing didn't exist. Basically, you'll be as healthy as possible. You don't have to detox because there's nothing to detox from. But in the modern day, obviously, there's toxins everywhere, and when you eat raw meat, you obviously detox from that. And when you do detox, you become a little bit acidic, so you do need to alkalinize. And some symptoms of being too acidic is that you lose appetite on the raw diet. This is why people who do carnivore, they lose appetite after like a few days. Really, I remember I tried this without vegetable juices, without like tomatoes to alkalinize. And I hated the diet, and it literally took me like 30 minutes to down like 200 grams of minced meat. Now it literally takes me like 10 minutes. But anyway, the main point that I wanted to make is I don't really have a main point now that I think about it, but I was watching a video from this guy I found. There are so many health people, and there's something interesting that I realized about social media that you might kind of be aware of, but it's something that I just realized. Imagine just some random person in your school, in your work, wherever you are, or maybe your family members. Imagine how their social media and their reality is so different to yours just because of the people they consume. For example, my reality right now is like eating raw food, flipping the YouTubers that I watch. For example, some of them that I can name is Residential Raw, Mason Jinfu, Gotis, what's some other ones? Those and Solar Youth. These are just some YouTubers that I've been watching recently. Bro, they give such good knowledge. And something crazy is like this is just a little bit irrelevant, but this is like if you're a content creator. I used to be a content creator, like a lot of you can see in my YouTube channel, but I don't do this much. I just kind of yap to the camera. They give a lot of good knowledge that they kind of know just in their head, but to other people who don't know this, it sounds like whoa. That kind of sounds stupid, but when you do start making content, you kind of repeat yourself, and you think like, oh, people already should know this. But for example, I know, oh, the body becomes acidic when you detox, but probably not many people in the entire globe know about this. But for me, it's common knowledge now, and the symptoms of like, oh, you lose appetite, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I've been watching like all this kind of stuff, and it's crazy to me. Like, imagine your parents, or for example, my mom, her content is just like about like music, things about Ecuador. I honestly don't know, but it's like so different to mine. And the reality, for example, her reality might be like, oh, but her reality, I hate her reality. I can't lie. She hates raw meat. She's never gonna. Okay, but she probably will eventually. I probably will convince her eventually. But her mentality is like no raw meat. You have to cook it. Raw meat is disgusting. Like all of this is so stupid. I hate this because it would have been so lit if when I was in the womb, my mom was eating raw liver, raw meat, bro. I would have been cook. I would have been cooking before I was even born. But anyway, bro. Now I think about it, if my 1 year old self, if I watched this video 1 year ago, I would see myself like a complete like conspiracy theorist and all this. And fair enough, it makes sense. Like, by the way, if you're interested, the only reason like raw meat has been demonized. So think about this, for example. There's always like a thought that always pops up into my mind. For example, about 50 years ago or 100 years ago, I don't know when cigarettes were made, doctors literally prescribed them to people to reduce stress because they were meant to reduce stress, make you healthier. But we all know now cigarettes are highly addictive. They mess up with your brain, dopamine receptors, and they're just bad for your overall health and your lungs and all that. It's actually like be proven. But that was generally what doctors recommended back then. And you're probably a little bit basic if you kind of watch my channel, and you probably realize that most things that are recommended nowadays is like, oh, you're meant to eat, for example, even the food pyramid. The food pyramid is the most disgusting thing ever. Think about it. At the top, tippity top, so the smallest thing you should eat is flipping meat and saturated fats. Those are the least things you should eat because they're unhealthy. They're gonna kill you. They're the devil. and you should eat grains. Now put yourself in a position where you are the most healthy human in the entire world, and when you're the most healthy, you're obviously the best looking. And imagine having all this. Imagine you're like one of the like crazy millionaire, crazy health, like you know everything about the world. Like you're just a super billionaire. But imagine your world is just plagued with 8 billion, probably 9 billion people. Now imagine every single other person would be exactly like you. They're all elite, they won't have insane knowledge, they're all healthy as hell. Well, you're not gonna stand out. You're not gonna be like a celebrity, or you're not gonna be just feeling like you're the best in a way. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to sabotage. And imagine sabotaging, there's so many ways. For example, you probably heard of microplastics, heavy metals, toxins, eating cooked food. Cooked food, by the way, literally creates carcinogens, and it literally like deteriorates the way we are meant to live. Now, by the way, I'm not scientific. You can't like. I'm just a guy on the internet. I'm just sharing my ideas. You don't have to like copy me or whatever. But generally, it's crazy. Imagine you're one of those elite people. Obviously, you're gonna want to sabotage other people. Now, picture yourself like you are one of these 8 billion people, and there are elites trying to sabotage you. This sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory, but is it really that far from the truth? Like, if you really think about it, do you think like, oh, the government is the best and it's just trying to keep us healthy by poisoning the tap water and saying we can drink it? For example, tap water is filled with heavy metals, fluoride that has literally been proven to just bug out your hormones, all that. Even just the shower, you wash your hair, it can literally cause the hair loss. I recently learned that Himalayan salt has crazy heavy metals, and I've been putting it in my hair for like the past 6 months. And I want to grow my hair out now and live naturally. I'm kind of starting to grow it out, but it's like barely growing. I still do have like, I changed Himalayan salt to the sea salt, which is like still kind of heavy metal dominant, but at least it's less, which is better. And then I learned castor oil and emu oil are the best things, which are all the just like healthy oils. Like before that, I used to even just use normal shop hair products and sea salt spray, and then I made my own, and then apparently now it's not healthy. So when you really go down this rabbit hole, it really just becomes deeper and deeper and deeper. Like I stopped going to the gym because the gym just stresses your body out. Like this is like a crazy controversial thing. People like go to the gym because, oh, you're meant to be self-improvement or whatever. But the only issue with that is like when you're a kid, especially. I started going to the gym when I was like, I think 14, maybe 15, around that time. And before that I would work out at home. But to be fair, at home I barely even stressed myself out. I remember I used to do push-ups like 8 reps, even though I didn't feel failure. Which is, now think about it, it's a good thing. Like a few months ago I think, oh, that's a bad thing, I missed out on so much muscle. But when you do work out, like it's not natural. Imagine people like back in the caveman days, would they have been working out from, like, imagine lifting dumbbells, literally the name dumb, which is crazy, but anyway, dumbbells, they wouldn't. So what happens is you overstress your body, and all the nutrients that would be used for growth, detox, healing, are used to heal your muscles instead of detoxing, growing. So that's why we stopped going to the gym. And honestly, my life is so much better. I have way more time in my day. I can just chill. Right now I'm just chilling in the sun, drinking the vegetable juice. I'm gonna drink some of it actually, because my life before was like horrendous. I used to literally go to school, finish school. In school I would be just high cortisol, because I remember my looks kind of went down because I stopped caring about my looks because I was focusing on money. And I was focusing on money thinking like, oh, when I make money then I'll lock in my looks. But that just kind of deteriorated my confidence, because when my looks went down I became unhealthier, and I just felt anxious all day, every day. And I would literally go to school, then go to the gym. Then by this time it was like winter. So what would happen is I would finish the gym and it would just be dark. I would take the bus back home, and I would just kind of just like sit inside, disgusting, and it was just horrible, honestly. And I'm happy that I'm young. Honestly, I was talking to my dad about this. I'm so happy that I'm learning at this when I'm like 16 years old. Imagine I learned all of this when I would be like 40. And the sad reality is that there are some people who learn all of this when they're 40. And yeah, I usually beat myself up thinking like, oh, I wish I knew this when I was 14, or that my parents learned all of this. But hey, I guess comparison is the killer. What was that quote again? It's like, comparison is the killer of happiness, something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna drink my vegetable juice, look at the sun, make some money, make some TikTok videos so I can actually make money to then buy. My plan is to I need to really lock in so I can actually buy one-to-one coaching from like the health people I've been watching, so I can buy their community, so I can actually like get way more knowledge, become healthier, become better looking, become happier. make money so I can actually invest in myself, like buying raw colostrum, way more raw organs. Because right now, I used to buy raw organs, but I can't lie, bro, it's been so annoying to buy them. I bought them from this one area and they're really, really good, but I only tried them like twice because sometimes they're out of stock, sometimes I don't have the money, sometimes whatever happened. Then I bought them from this other place, but then that other place just got them frozen. And they show when you freeze food, it's basically the same thing that happens when you cook food. You kill off all the bacteria, and bacteria is actually a good thing because it literally helps you digest meat. You might think like, oh, salmonella and E. coli, they're gonna make you sick. But in reality, those bacteria are just eliminating the toxins in, for example, store-bought food, store-bought meat. And that is what actually causes you to get sick. It's not the bacteria itself. It's because the bacteria is breaking down all those toxins. And then when you eat that bacteria, that's when you get toxin, food poisoning. You get poison from all the poisons that are in the food. It's literally in the name, food poisoning. It's not like bacteria poisoning, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm gonna drink the vegetable juice, lower my cortisol, make some videos, make some money, become healthier, become happier. And in 3 months from now, honestly, really think about this. Is the last thing I'll say. Something that brings a lot of joy and happiness to my life is thinking about what would happen in 3 months from now. I remember 3 months ago, I was not making any money. I was still eating cooked food. I was fairly unhealthy, not very good looking. And obviously, I'm not the peak health that I can get to. But then I think of myself, that was 3 months ago. And if I would tell my 3-month-year-old self all the things that I've accomplished now, he'll kind of be mind blown. And I think about what would happen in the future 3 months, and then 6 months, and then 1 year, and 3 years. Like, it just all compounds, and it's gonna be crazy. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So yeah.